In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make cascarones. These are hollow dough eggs that you go and put any sort of confetti into, glitter, and also flour, and then you crack it over someone's head. These are fun for Easter, and also to just add a little bit of mix into your Easter egg hunt. So let's get started, and let's begin. To start this off, you're going to need multiple eggs along with also a metal spoon. Turn the egg over to the side that is larger and flatter and lightly tap it with a metal spoon back. You could also use a plate as well, but the metal spoon, in my case, and what I've noticed, creates a little bit less of a crack on the egg. Tap the side of the spoon to slowly crack the shell. You're going to want to tap it multiple times, along with also just definitely pay attention so you're not cracking it that hard and using too much strength. Peel off some of the extra egg so it's not going to get into the yolk area, so you can actually save the yolk and make some food out of it. I do suggest if you're going to be doing this that you do keep in mind that you shouldn't be wasting food, and you should definitely be using what is inside of the egg and putting it off to the side. If you are saving the contents of the egg, which I do definitely suggest to do so, and you get a couple pieces of shell in there, you could always use a strainer to get the rest of them out, just in case you want to cook with it. Now turn your egg upside down, move it up and down a bit, and wait for the contents to slowly come out. It's going to take a bit. After all of the contents of the egg are out, you're going to want to remove the membrane. You can do this by just grabbing onto any portion of it that is sticking out of the egg, slowly peeling it from one side, taking your finger, and then pressing down. You want to use very little strength for this, go nice and slow, and then slowly pull the membrane out so it doesn't rip a bunch. The more you get out in one shot, the better. After the membrane of the egg is out, go and rinse them and clean them off, just so you don't have any extra egg yolk or anything like that in the inner portion so it doesn't get nasty if you decide to dye it or decide to put your confetti in. Go and prep a jar with 3 cups of hot water. I'm using just an old pickle jar, but you can honestly use anything. And after you have all of the hot water in this jar, which definitely goes slow, it's going to of course be warm and or hot, you're going to want to add some vinegar to it. Now I have apple cider vinegar, but you could also use pretty much any type of vinegar that you have, and you're not going to need much, just pour a little bit in there. Now I'm naturally dyeing these eggshells with turmeric, so take 2 tablespoons of turmeric and mix it around in your hot water mixture. You can also use any dye packets that you have, or just food dye, it's going to do the same thing. After your turmeric is mixed, go and put a couple of eggshells in there, just lightly put it down, press down on it, and let it go and submerge fully and totally. I'm fitting 4 in here, but it depends on the size of the jar that you have. If you have a larger jar, you can definitely fit more. If you have a smaller jar, of course less. When you're doing this, if you see any extra membrane or anything hanging outside of the egg, make sure to remove it, because if you do leave it on there, what it's going to do is cause a spot that's not going to dye. Now this goes for any sort of dye that you're using. If there's anything on the egg, it won't dye. The eggs that you have that you're not going to dye, you can go and draw faces on it. I'm using actually eyeliner just because these are supposed to be biodegradable, so after I'm done with going and cracking these outside for Easter, then they can just be picked up, or they can be left outside and the eyeliner is just going to go and degrade along with everything else. Now you can make some confetti. I am using tissue paper that I saved for pretty much the whole year, just cutting it up and then cutting across. It's really easy to make confetti, or you could always purchase some, but of course this is recycled confetti that I'd like to make, and you can easily do as well. Go and mix up the confetti, and then go and take your egg and start just putting it in there. You can fill it up fully and totally, and you can also add things like flour or maybe biodegradable glitter in here, or maybe even a prize if you're not going to be going and smashing these on someone's head, of course. If you're just going to be using them to go and find them, or maybe throwing them instead, then you could put a prize in there, but I don't suggest it. Take some glue and put it around the outer portion of the egg. After the outer portion is fully covered with glue, go and take a piece of cut tissue paper and put it onto the bottom. Press it down, wait for it to dry a little bit, and if you really want to, if there's extra pieces sticking up that you don't want there, you can always go and cut off the extra tissue paper that is hanging off to the sides. But you don't have to do this, you can always leave it. Now that these eggs are done, you're going to want to put them in a safe place. So I'm just putting them back into an egg carton that I saved from all of the eggs that I used for this and that I've used over the past month or so. After all of your eggs are in a safe place, go and close it up, and then we're going to move on to the other eggs. Now these sat for 24 hours. You can take them out sooner, but I wouldn't suggest going and taking them out before about a 6 to 8 hour span. After you've taken all of them out, which you should be doing nice and slowly, and using a fork, clean them off, let them dry out, and then again you can draw faces on these. These, since they're yellow, I'm going to draw little tiny chick faces with the eyeliner pen that I'm using. They of course don't need to be turned into chicks or anything like that. It could always be something else that you would want to go and draw on there, or you don't have to draw anything on there at all. It just depends on whatever color you dyed it, or how crafty you're feeling. After you've went and drawn all the faces on there, cut up a couple pieces of tissue paper. They should be a little bit oversized so you can put them on the bottom. Get your confetti ready, and then stuff all of the eggs with confetti. Again, you can put flour in here, biodegradable glitter, or a little tiny prize if you're not going to be going and smashing these on someone's head. If you are smashing them on someone's head, do not put prizes in them or any sort of candy or anything like that. Put glue on your finger, and then from there, like you did with the other egg, go around the entire bottom portion. After the bottom portion is covered with glue, put on your tissue paper, press it down, let it dry a little bit, and then cut off any extra pieces that you would like to be gone. But you don't have to do this again, you can always leave it. And since these are chicks, I'm putting little feathers on their head, which is going to make it easier to go and find them, maybe if they're being hidden in tall grass or something like that. Now after all of them are done, make sure to put them in a safe location, but this is what one of them is going to look like when you smash it. These are just going to add a lot more fun to your Easter or any celebration that you have. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, take care, take it easy, and have a great one.